I wishes a very good day to Miss Paritra Raman. I am Sven Tevilas Simkianho from Dmosh 1A. On this wonderful day, I am going to present about the introduction of historical buildings in Malaysia. Historical building is generally considered to be a building that has some kind of historic value, and all building and structure are the witnesses to cultural history of a city. It is also an evidence to the new generation that our country has some historical building for them to learn and appreciate it. Unique historical and cultural sites give places a sense of an identity and sculpt a name in the world and make the country famous. All citizens must preserve the building as it our identity and symbolize the splendor of our country. Not only that, the historical building capable and potentially a tourist destination from inside and outside our country. This will increase national income.
Very good morning to Miss Pavitra Raman. I'm Sarulan from Dmosh 1A, and I'm responsible to explain regarding the Sultan Ibrahim building. So basically, Sultan Ibrahim building was known as a former state secretariat building of Johor. This building was begun to construct between the year 1936 to 1939 and was accomplished in 1940. This building was also used as a Chief Minister's office and the State Assembly Hall until June 2009. But from 18 June 2009, many offices in Sultan Ibrahim building have been moved to Kota Iskandar, which is known as the new administration center of Johor. Sultan Ibrahim was formally and officially declared open this building. He wants to build this building as an administration center of Johor State and to symbolize majesty of Johor State. Moreover, this building was designed by the well-known British architectural firm Palmer and Turner. The proposal to build this building was started in 1929, but due to the economic downturn in 1930, the proposal was postponed. The uniqueness of the shape and the architecture of this building was built with a blend of Johor Malay and Islamic together with colonial architecture. The combination of design made this building to look more attractive, and surprisingly it was the tallest building in Malaysia in the time of pre-Merdeka stage. In addition, around 1941, all the construction work of this building was stopped due to the World War II, which was started to spread in Malaysia. This building was used as a fortress and a center of operation to be engaged in spying the British in Singapore during Japanese invasion. In this situation, some parts of the building were damaged. The wall of the building, which was facing at the Tebrau Strait, was hit by a cannon directly from Singapore. Even though it was hit by a cannon, it stayed strong, but the damaged part are still able to see until now. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Cdim. I will be presenting about the State House building. The State House building in Malacca's Red Square neighborhood is regarded as the oldest Dutch structure still standing in the east. The distinctive red terracotta edifice, which is 49,200 square feet in size, was formerly the principal residence of the Dutch governor and officers. The History and Ethnography Museum, highlighting Malaccan culture and traditions, is now housed there, given that State House is Dutch for City Hall, as it is one of the region's earliest example of Dutch colonial architecture. The structure is still regarded by both residents and visitors as a very famous city hall. Another site worth seeing is the Tan Beng Sui Clock Tower, which is close by. The Tan Bing Sui clock tower was constructed in 1886 close to State House by a prosperous straits of a Chinese families. This magnificently made building in that style still survives today with big and gigantic walls, shutter window, thick and old doors, with wrought iron hangers, giving a brief glimpse into the rich history, culture and tradition of Malacca, along with wedding attire, 400 years old relics, money, stamps, cookware, weaponry, artifacts and many other things. Costume and traditional and historical goods were gifts from the Malay Sultanate to the Portuguese, Dutch and British. The structure served as the British government administrative office after Malacca was turned over to them. Although minor structural adjustments were made, the British kept the overall layout. The building was used by the administration of Malacca after Malaysia gained independence up until 1979. The structure was initially white, but after being painted red, it came to serve as a landmark in Malacca and point of reference. The Dutch Governor Office is one of the building's unique space. The ceiling is decorated with wood. The Dutch Governor Room on the fourth level also has Chinese mythological artwork on the wall. On the ground floor, a drainage system was established. The same laterite rocks that are utilized for Fortaleza de Malacca were used to construct the well Fort Malacca. Although the well is still present, it is no longer in use and there is no water there.
Hello and Assalamualaikum. I am Anika Hawani Minawang Ahmad from class Dmosh 1A. I believe many people out there know about the history of Kota Afamosa in Malacca. I will explain about the before, the construction and the history of Kota Afamosa in Malacca. Malacca was formerly the capital of a sizable empire in the 15th century. This state is rich in reminders of the significant history of the nation. Kota Afamosa is one of most well-known historical sites. It currently only possesses in its city gate, which is located at the base of Bukit Saint Paul, and it is also known as Porta de Santiago. In Muhammad Yusuf Hashim's 2005 opinion, in Malaysian history, Malacca's existence as a political and governmental entity has had major historical significance. In fact, certain academics at different levels of national educational institutions frequently advocate for stating national history with the Malacca heritage. Diego de Square, a Portuguese agent sent to Malacca in 1509 as a trader. Along with commerce, he also supervises all construction projects in Malacca. Diego de Square urged the Sultan of Malacca, a result, captured Diego de Santiago and his men and put them in a prison. On November 25, 1510, Alfonso de Albuquerque conquered Goa in India, and from there he planned to invade the Islamic State in the east of particularly Malacca, which is Muhammad Nordin Haji Malan, 1997-31. Okay, this is the history of Kota Afamosa in Malacca. History of the placement Kota Afamosa. As soon as they had effectively take Malacca in 1511, the Portuguese began construction on Kota Famosa. The Malacca Sultanate Palace model and St. Paul may be found at Bandar Hilir, Malacca, right adjacent to Famosa. The European-style building is the oldest of still standing in Asia. When the Portuguese took control of Malacca in 1511, they constructed a fort called Famosa. The Portuguese utilized forced labor to construct a makeshift fort to fend off invasion by the Malays when they conquered Malacca, while they constructed the main fort known as Famosa, or officially Malacca Fort or Fortaleza de Malacca. The construction of Kota Famosa took 5 months. Many forced laborers perished while construction the city as a result of the intense heat and food shortage. Materials from the mosques and other structures that we no longer standing were used to construct the city. As soon as the Portuguese acquired possession of Malacca, they were forced to create a defensive city, which is why Alfonso de Albuquerque ordered the creation of the city of Famosa as a sign of their resistances. Finalized, Kota Famosa's 4 towers of bastions has a wall that is 2.5 to 4.5 meters thick. The name of the tower include the Boulevard San Pedro, Boulevard Boulevard de las Virgenes, Boulevard Madre de Dios, Boulevard Santo Domingo, and Boulevard de Santiago. Malacca was the fortified city with 70 guns defending it from all sides by the year 1583. Famosa inquified nearby regions and European enclave. The neighborhood is bordered by Jalan Kota, Jalan Gereja, Jalan Mahkamah, and Jalan Istana. Additionally, the Portuguese colonists converted this area in a Christian community by building 5 churches and well as other temples, hospitals, and other facilities. In the 17th century, though this city was unable to stop the Dutch. Before the Dutch were able to take control of Malacca, an offensive was undertaken with a distance from the locals and Johor Malays. The Portuguese were able to withstand all type of outside attack thanks to the strength of the Famosa city's construction. The residents of Malacca were forced to consume cats, rats, and in one instance, a woman's dead baby by the Dutch soldiers, while they besieged the city for 5 months in order to take it. The Dutch finally broke through the Santo Domingo Gate on January 14, 1641, resulting in the shooting deaths of almost 7,000 persons. The conflict severely devastated the city of Famosa, which was rebuilt while the Dutch East India Company's logo was added to the Porta de Santiago, the city's main gate. The lone gate that survived, the Porta de Santiago, was built and repaired by the Dutch after they had taken control of the city. They also engraved Anno 1670 on the gate while adding their coat of arms. So we moved to collapse of Kota Famosa, this is the last part from me. According to an old map of Malacca, this fort situated near the river's mouth and Malacca shoreline. The beach and estuary that surround this fort provide protection, yet position is not secret. Because it is high above, the position is ideal for a lookout fort. Additionally, the Portuguese built this fort so they could easily oversee the city's perimeter and keep an eye on the Strait of Malacca and offshore locations. The fort's moat and some of large bastions, foundations that were once a part of it were discovered during the subsequent visits. Similar to the study, intricate and substantial castle structures of medieval Europe. According to legend, Alfonso de Albuquerque rushed to complete this fort because an invasion from another sultanate threatened Malacca. Alfonso de Albuquerque allegedly then gave thousands of slaves the task of finishing Alfamosa. There are towers, hospitals, munitions storage facilities, and churches based on the structure. Consider how popular Alfamosa once was. Fortress alone Alfamosa is now only a little ruin, and the surrounding area is a public park. Only this portion of the fort is still standing. It was spared from the destroyed. Ironically, this fort's history dates back around 3 centuries when the city of Alfamosa safeguarded Malacca from the British, who eventually invaded and destroyed it in the 19th century through the Governor General of Pahang. When Sir Thomas Stamford Raffles ultimately intervened to stop the demolition of Alfamosa and leave the building's remains, the fort was rescued from destruction and appeared to be level with the earth. So that's all from me. If you wanna know more about the historical building, I will pass to another video. So that's all from me. I'm Anik Ahwani bin Muhammad. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Akmal, I would like to talk about why we need to preserve historical building in our country. First, modern structures are often constructed using conventional building supplies like concrete, masonry, and readily accessible metal. The fact that so many buildings constructed before 1900 are still standing is a monument to the skill and attention to detail these builders exhibit. These buildings were frequently constructed of superior material that were intended to survive the hardest weather conditions. Rarer material like hard pine wood, which was utilized to produce flooring, walls, door, and other architectural components, were also used in early 1900s building. The second one is the community learn from historical structure and monument, especially young people who lack a strong sense of patriotism. Even though some historic structures solely depict black occurrence, if we respect the building's history and draw lessons from those events, we can go on without repeating the errors of the past of civilization. As an illustration, the Portuguese army fought Alfamosa stronghold at Malacca, which was constructed after taking Malacca, can serve as a lesson. The lack of organizational cohesion, the leadership frailty, and the weakness of the Malacca army itself all contributed to this capture. Additionally, we can raise the status of our nation if we do not take this issue for granted and learn from the history of our nation. We can compete with other industrialized nations, therefore it is inappropriate to demolish historic structure in our nation. The last one is from a tourism point of view is historical buildings and monuments are able to attract tourists, whether local tourists or tourists from abroad who visit this country. This building is also a dominant factor for tourists travelling in this country beside the Petronas Twin Tower. Therefore, historic buildings do not need to be demolished but need to be preserved and renovated. For example, all buildings should be renovated to become museums, art galleries and tourist centres. This phenomenon is common in some European countries such as England, France, Italy and even the Netherlands. That's all from me.